Hey John, this is John Webster from the Breakers in Palm Beach, Florida. Thank you for sending your swing into the Golf Digest Challenge, and I wanted to send this back to you with maybe one or two little tips, but boy, it's a good looking swing overall. I know you said you hit this one relatively straight, but you were wondering if you bottomed out just a little too soon, and from this angle, looking at your swing, you're really looking at two things. One is posture, and then two is the way the club swings around your body, what type of circle it does. If you're looking from the face-on view, looking straight onto you, you can see a little bit better the way your weight shifts, and you tend to lean backwards or forwards. It's a little harder from this angle to see that, but from what we look at from this view, there are some terrific things. I'm going to pull up a swing just so you can see another one side by side. This is a swing of Adam Scott's this past year with the 3-wood as well. And the one thing I'll point out to you, which I think we can see from this angle, which would be a nice thing to establish, is from the middle of his back to his tailbone. You notice how that's relatively straight. There's no real arch, or there's not some roundedness to his lower back. And you notice in yours where you can see just the tiniest little bit of kind of curve throughout the spine right there, where it kind of goes from your tailbone into the lower back and then back up to the center of your back there. That little part, if you can flatten that out to where it almost feels like you pull your belly in or you rotate your hips a little more underneath you, it'd be great to be able to firm that up a little bit. That's really the center of your body, and that's your core that will hold you in place. And you're a good player. Those little things can make a big difference. Really helps with posture. So if you can clean that up a touch, I think it'd be fantastic. Now the other just very little thing, and it is minor, and I'll play Adam's swing once or twice here so you get a look at it. In full speed, it's a little tougher to see, but play that at full speed once or twice, and then play yours at full speed as well. Beautiful path right there, and I'm going to slow it down so you can see it. Watch yours in slow motion. Beautiful takeaway there going back. Let's play Adam's through as well. So really some nice similar things there. A terrific look. Again, just a little posture in that lower back would be nice. Now we get to the top of the swing, and right there, it's very slight, and I'd want to see it from the other direction, but it almost looks like because of the spacing here between your knees, and because of this right hip being where it is, to me it looks like you might be leaning forward a little bit into your left knee. Again, it's hard to tell, but I have a feeling you might be leaning a tiny bit forward into your front foot. And now watch this in the transition. It looks like you start to fall backwards with your head, more so than we would really want you to. And as you do that, you end up leaving a little bit more weight back on your back foot because your upper body is falling backwards slightly. And if you watch this as Adam Scott goes through, he has a little more weight off his right foot, and by the time he gets to about halfway through, you can really clearly see his left leg. You can see he's turned his hips a bit more. Where your hips, we can just start to see your left leg a little bit. So to me, that shows that there might be a little bit of a lean forward in the backswing and a little bit of a lean or fall backwards coming into the shot, and that might be where you feel like you're bottoming out too soon. If your head or upper body falls backwards at all, there's a better chance of catching a little bit of ground or sweeping the ball a little more on the upswing rather than catching it on the way down. And you can see it a little bit in your path as well. If I put a line up the shaft of the club, anytime you fall backwards, the club tends to go a little bit more underneath the plane line. And anytime you stay a little bit on top of the ball, well, then the club stays a little bit more on plane, so it's not quite so far underneath the line, and it doesn't exit quite so high coming out, where you can see your club exits a little bit more out of your shoulder, just a touch, where his is a little further below his shoulder. So just a little bit of weight. I'd love to see the other angle, but if you have someone who watches you or a PGA professional nearby to keep a look at it, I'd love to see if maybe you lean a little forward and then fall a little bit backwards coming into the shot. You might be able to work your balance a little bit more with your upper body so that you don't get that fall back. But again, terrific looking swing. It looks excellent. Just that little bit of posture is about the only thing I see from this direction that we know for sure you could definitely improve on. Best of luck with this over the summer, and looks like you've got a great start already.